choose Roots to be played during the Spring Festival?
Because I think Roots is about a homecoming. It's about finding and acknowledging your ancestry and your culture and heritage, especially specifically your Chinese heritage. Most of the people in New Zealand have an immigrant history, regardless of if you've been here for 10 generations or one. So it's always something that is in the New Zealand consciousness. But I think this play really gives you a chance to delve into it and go, okay, like, what does this mean to me? And why is it important? And where am I actually from? So when we judge others, when we judge immigrants, or when we have preconceived ideas of Chinese immigrants, it can be a little more complicated because majority of New Zealanders are immigrants themselves. And I think that's something that we all know, but it's nice to take the time to consider.
So this show has any special meaning to you?
Yes, so essentially what the character goes through in the play, which is like their journey back to their ancestral village in China, is something that I did myself a few years ago. So I was born in Auckland and raised in Auckland. My father is Chinese from Malaysia, but my Kong Kong was born in a small village in Xiamen. So a few years ago, I undertook my own kind of cultural education for myself, and I went to Xiamen, never met them before, I don't speak the dialect, I had a translator, and ended up basically reconnecting with these people who are my family. But at the same time, there is a strange, as you said, a strange familiarity that you have, you know, looking at these people who look really similar to you. They all have your last name, and they all know your Kong Kong, and they have stories of, you know, when he grew up, and, you know, they know him better than you do yourself. So it's kind of the strange, it's almost like stepping into a fairy tale or stepping into a storybook. You know, you've heard one version of it, and now you get to see kind of like the nitty-gritty, complicated reality. 恭喜发财. I hope to see you at our season of Roots at Uxbridge Arts Centre on the 23rd and 24th of February.
So would you like to give us a little introduction of yourself?
Of course. My name is Amanda Grace Liu, Liang Suxian, and I was born in New Zealand, and I lived here until I was 10. And then when I was 10, 我一家人, my father moved all of us back to Singapore. And then when I was 18, I came back to New Zealand for university, but by myself. So 我爸爸是海南人. After my grandmother died, I really felt very upset that 我不会说海南话，我是海南人嘞，海南人不会讲海南话真的是很丢脸的。And also, so when she came to me and said, I actually want to put Roots on, it was the perfect time. I think I was in a place, I am in a place where I'm looking for my roots. I'm trying to come to terms with not being able to speak Hainanhua. And also I'm starting to have this feeling to go back to China.
What's the most difficult part of playing this show?
讲华语. It's really, it's so stressful. When I'm speaking, I don't think in Mandarin, I think in English. 所以, when I'm trying to remember my lines, I remember it in English, but I then have to translate it back into Chinese. This is what the play is about. The play is about how even when you find your roots, and even your roots, even the story, you know, when you go back, it's not a perfect story. You are never going to find the whole truth because, you know.
If I'm strange familiar, right?
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, it is a familiar feeling. Like, you know, even if you ask, like, your nai, you know, what happened, her truth might not actually be what happened. You will never. So, yeah, the struggle with imperfect Mandarin also aligns with this imperfect journey to find your roots.
You must have a strong feelings of this character.
Yes.
Because of your experience.
Yes, I think there is a very strong feeling, and also the journey of the character through the script is something that I feel like I'm experiencing now, like all the anxiety and all the like confusion, because we're like, what, 3 days before opening, you know?